Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Just finished filming a video showing all my Cattleyas, like an update on my Cattleyas. There's some sad articles in there really is. I'm almost inclined to go along the lines of what Lynn did once, and she basically got so fed up with scale on her Cattleyas she binned the lot. And now she hasn't got any Cattleyas at all and doesn't tend to have a scale problem. I'm thinking along the same lines. I just can't shift them. Anyway, following on from that update, one plant in particular, which is here, has got some soft rot. So there's probably liquid inside that pseudo bulb. If that's a bacterial infection, it can spread very fast, although it doesn't seem to have got to what I'm basically going to deal with now. So this is probably going to be the fastest ever kitchen session you've ever seen. From me anyway. First job, identify what we're doing. The whole plant I'm scrapping except for this little piece, which has a nice new growth with some roots. Yeah? So potentially a good growth. The growth behind it has rubbish leaves. They've lost their green and they're desiccated. But that's not a bad bulb as a storage organ. So that's what we're dealing with, and that's what's coming off. Like that. Now that's good. That is live tissue. It doesn't seem to be infected. And the other thing is, I was a little suspicious. There's no purple, so we have a clean cut, basically. That is going in the bin, not the pot. No. Never get them pots again. So that's what we're saving, yeah? There's no cleaning up to do, there's nothing to do with this at all, apart from seal that cut, because it's a large one. So we'll put some cinnamon on the cut. As I said, it is a large one. That will dry that off and seal it against infection, which for a spice is pretty good stuff, isn't it? Right, you can go back in the cupboard because you've now made me think of apple pie and I haven't got any. Grr. Cinnamon always does that to me every single time without fail. Right, so that's the piece we're working with. There's nothing to wash off, nothing to clean up, and it's going on the back of that mount, because that mount had something on it that didn't grow very well, and it feels a little soft, but this isn't, so I'm going to mount it on the back of this mount. The plant won't know the difference. Right, now that is going on like that. I've got to allow for root growth, which on Cattleyas can be quite extensive, yeah, but I also want the plant to go that way because it's got a flat back to it. So I'm going to push it right over to the side, about halfway up the mount there, and I don't really want any moss behind the roots. I want them to attach, and these new ones here have got plenty of opportunity to actually attach. That one won't because it's dead, so I'll have that one off. So that's where it's going to go, and I'm going to wire it on with thin wire. It doesn't need it's not a heavy plant. It will be, if it grows well, it will become a heavy plant, but it isn't at the moment. So we only need to go around a couple of times with wire. But when I bought some new bonsai wire, I didn't know what I was going to get as far as the thicknesses were concerned, and I bought a variety and it's sold by weight. So the thinner the wire, the longer the piece you get, and this bit is ridiculously long and would not get used much for bonsai because it's so thin. So, and I don't plan on doing loads of wiring on the bonsai anyway, you know, it's a tedious job to say the least. So I'm going to put that on like that, yeah, and that will just get wired in place. I'm going to put a turn round quite high up the plant like that. That's to hold it, Then come back round a bit lower, this is very bendy wire, and come round about just there, above that new growth. Then I'm going to come back round at the base of the plant. So that's 3 turns, and between those 3 that will hold it really well. But we haven't put any moss on yet, have we? So we need to allow 1 turn for the moss, because it's only going to get a little bit, it's a Cattleya. So I'm just going to grab 1 lump of moss. Something like that. And put that gently around and over the roots. Now I'm quite happy if 1 root stays aerial, but I want somewhere for the rest of the roots to get, where they can get hydrated, stay hydrated, push on into the, get on into the plant, get it growing again, and then they can come out the bottom and head off in all directions. Yeah? Right, change my mind. I need an extra turn near the bottom, so I'm undoing one, bringing that a bit farther down. So now I've got the availability or the possibility of going around the root area twice. Once, and that goes around the back, and then this one goes around a bit lower down, and I bet they don't meet. No, they don't. Ooh, they just meet. It wasn't a very good guess, was it? As long as there's enough to get 1 twist, the pliers will do the rest. The pliers will pull it in tight. You can't go too mad if you've got thin wire with pliers, because you'll just snap it. There's only so much tension you can put on, a thin wire before it actually gives in. Push those in and then pull the rest tight. Now, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough to hold the plant very well. Yes, it is. It's either just pushing those in, putting a bit of pressure on them, they bend inwards and hold the plant. And then hopefully there's still enough room for that new growth to push on the outside of the wire, but it's all held in place. So there we go, that's it. Now the only thing left to do is put the hook on the end of my wire. I don't do that early on in the process because it gets in the way. So just bend that over to give me a hook. And there we go. All done. So the roots are enclosed, but they will grow through there and come out the bottom very quickly because they're active growing roots, so they should push on nicely. The new growth will push on the outside of that wire, yeah, so it'll have its own place to be, and then any subsequent new growth that comes out can sort itself out, find its own thing. So that's saved that plant, we hope. I can only hope that whatever bacterial or infection has got into the main plant hasn't reached this part yet, and it stays clean. We can only hope. Right, see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.